Hi guys, welcome to today's little project on Hither Green TMD in O-Gauge. I've been busy with my Land Rover this week trying to get the gearbox back in. Now it's been repaired, so I haven't done much on here, but I've got time here for a little job that I can be getting on with. And the project itself today is on my points. As I'm using DCC Concepts Cobalt point motors, which are not the flick over solenoid type or anything like that, they are a motor with a gear on it. The wire that comes up, the operating arm from the motor itself, holds over the point blade, which means you don't have the little retaining spring in the box there. And when you buy these points with the spring in, you have a little cover that goes over this part of the point, which also keeps the spring in place. Without it, it pops out and flies all over the place. So I don't need these great big boxes, which aren't particularly prototypical. Some locations had wooden covers over the points to protect stuff falling in the facing point locks and things like that, to keep things clean if you've got somewhere, a location that has spillage of sand or whatever on a regular basis. So this depot does not have that. So if I just adjust you slightly again, here's one I have got ready already. I have cut the box out of here on this one. I'm not worried about the base plate, and I can live with the tie bar having this shape to it, although I may just trim it slightly just to make it a little bit less obvious. So the tools that I'm going to be using for this little project is my razor saw, which is missing its handle, which makes it slightly uncomfortable, but I'll live with it. My vernier calipers. I have my little file on my Leatherman knife. It saves me going to go and find another one that's in my toolbox out in the other room. My little automatic pencil and my square. What generally gets used to replace these bits when people cut them out, not all the time, but generally a lot of people do it. They use off-cut timbers, sleepers from the straight sections of track. The only downside of this is they are about 1.5 mil narrower than the point timbers. So what I've purchased is 2 packets of Peco 7mm scale individually turnout timbers, and the code for that is IL714. The reason I've bought 2 packets is not I'm going to use them all on the points, but because I can use them as wagon loads as well. So I have the nice moulded timbers, which are hollow underneath, which is why, if I just change around here again and look down, excuse me while I adjust the camera angle, I haven't got to worry too much about this base plate, because I can just easily shave a piece off of there to go over it. So when this one is straightforward, this one I'm going to have to shave both sides through the middle, and this one, because of the form of the plastic where it used to go all the way around here, there's just a couple of bits on the inside edge where I'll just have to scallop a little bit out and it should sit in flat. So that is the timber that I will be using. So to cut it to size, it's easy enough. I just get my vernier calipers, because they're just generally cut out with my razor saw. They won't all be the same size, hence the calipers. So I'll just get that mark it off on there, and cut it out with a razor saw. Okay, so I've used my pencil to put the line across the sleeper there. You can just about see it. So I'm going to cut that out with my razor saw. I'll just make room. Trying to do this here. The pencil line being inside the caliper, so I need to cut outside the pencil line. That's why I'm going to cut it through all the way, so I'm just going to get out of the way because I don't want to damage the track. Okay, so I've now trimmed that bit of sleeper off, and we'll see if that fits in around the camera here. And still slightly over. Just ever so slightly. So with my file, I shall just remove a little bit of plastic at a time. Don't have to go mad. And see if that slots in any easier. It's not easy doing this with the camera in the way. It's very nearly there actually. So we'll just take another shave off. We'll try that. Oh, there we go. Perfect fit. So I shall just trim out where these bits of plastic intrude. And for that, I've got to find them on my workbench. I'm just going to hack out the back with my cutters. So there's one corner. Just nibble it out. So hopefully that will now just slot in. Oh, everything's in the way. Camera, tripod, board. There we go. So it's a nice good squeezy fit in there. And the timber is the same size as the other piece. It lays down nice and flat. So once that's in and weathered, that should blend in nicely. So we'll move on to the next piece there. Again, get the calipers. Yep. So again, with my timber and my saw, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I now have my little piece of sleeper. I'm going to trim off the back with my cutters on the basis that it is going to sit on top of this piece of plastic, so I don't need the full depth of this sleeper. So now, how close are we? That again is very close. So I think just a tiny shave with my file. clean it up a bit. I'm going to just file off the back as well. Just to make sure all the edges are tidy, not too furry. And we'll try it again. Right, I'll try it the other way around because it might not be square. Nope, shave more. It's just a case of trial and error. Because you don't want to take too much off at a time. You can take as long as you like. There we go, it's as tight a fit. That's a nice snug fit in there. So I shall just do the third piece off camera because you don't need to see it yet again. And I'll be back in a sec. So there we have all three timbers in place. They're just laying there at the minute. I haven't glued them yet. I'm going to get my super strength super glue on that. But if you compare that to the other point, it makes a big difference visually. And then what I shall do once I've glued it down, I'll get a little bit of paint on it and I'll show you the thing that I discovered with my cellulose thinners, which hopefully should help. Yep, so I shall be using my Loctite Super Glue Professional, which does dry very tough. So I'm just going to put a splash a bit there. And a little bit on each end. What I have discovered is if you are using it in an enclosed space like the inside of a logo body shell or something, it does turn everything white. So there's that one. Let's get it all lined up nicely. And again. Just line it up before it all goes off. So that's two. And the third one, which is the shallow one. What I must do first is remove the paint off of that bit of plastic. Got to find my cotton buds. Where's my cotton buds gone? Everything is hidden. Everything is hidden whenever you want anything. You know that. Right. Give that a wipe over so it's clean. So it's immediately removed the paint off of there. But what I shall demonstrate is I'll get this just right. You can see, oh, there's a good spot. That's shiny. And I'll just wipe over it with the cellulose thinners. I don't know how well it's showing up on there. I don't think there's much thinners left. It evaporates very quick off the cotton bud. That's better. There you go, you can see it's immediately gone matte. It's still got all its texture, but it's gone matte. So hopefully the paint will stick better to the plastic when you weather it and paint it. Just as a hint, a tip for when you're painting these sleepers. But it does evaporate quick, so you've got to put your lid back on your tin. But that's just cellulose thinners, or if you're in America, apparently it's called lacquer thinners. And according to the Australia here, it's also called lacquer thinners. So and a bit of super glue on there. It's quite a bit, doesn't matter. Throwing it around. Now I can't remember which way around it was. I'm going to go that way. Shouldn't make a lot of difference. It all depends on how square. No, I'm going to go the other way. It's now sticking to me fingers. Stuck to me fingers now. Come on, get in. You came out, so you've got to go back in. Fine, I'll put it back the other way then. It's more stuck to me now. There we go. It was the other way round. Get that in line, hopefully, before it all sets. Because it does go off quick and it does go off hard. Oh, quick, 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 it's grabbing. That's it. She's in. Okay, so she is now in. They're all in. I'll reopen my tin of thinners. And just give it a quick wipe, wipe, and wipe. And that's it. So that is now ready for painting. But you've got to admit that does look a lot better than that mess up there. So I'll come back to you in a second. I'm going to get some paint mixed up, and I'm still looking at this and thinking I might trim it a bit while that glue goes off. So back in a sec. Okay, so some Rail Match Sleeper Grime. Just to blend it in. Just a wash. Scratched it off the rail a touch. And there we go. And that is that. We'll just get a couple of photos from slightly different angles so you can see the difference it makes. And yeah, ready for just spraying a bit of grease where the rails sit on the slide chairs around that area, just to weather that in, but I'll do that once I've got the ballast in place. So there we go. So hopefully this has been slightly useful, and as usual, if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to put it in the comments section, and I'll answer anything that I can as quickly as I can. So I'll catch you next time. Bye.